Hey guys, we are live in Trestle Media Studios with the incredible Troy Trestle. So Troy produces our podcast, and he also creates exceptional videos for many other clients in the Wichita area. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, or if you're looking for some high quality branding videos, then look no further. Troy is the master storyteller through video, and he'll bring your brand to life. So today I'm your host, Samantha Lucciarini of the Wichita Real Producers Beyond the Pages podcast. And we are here with our preferred partner, Jake Baird of RCB Bank, and his guest, Realtor Ricky Lamb of Lamb Team Real Estate, Keller Williams Hometown Partners. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
So today's topic is going to be about some home loans, building a rockstar team, both of you having multiple young kiddos, kind of real estate and everything in between. So on that note, Jake, start us off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you invited Ricky on the podcast.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us on.
Of course.
This is a great privilege to be a part of your production here. You guys do a great job at Real Producers. We're always grateful for what you do for us and making us stand out. So thanks for having us on.
It's my pleasure.
So I've been in the mortgage lending banking world for off and on 15 years and had various positions, but I've always been had a passion for mortgage lending. So been through a lot of ups and downs. It's a weird market. Every year's different.
That's right.
Definitely challenges you. I love dealing with people though. Love interacting with clients, helping them get into their home and refinance for them to help them better their financial position. So wanted to have Ricky because he knows the Wichita market well. He's been a great resource for me. We're actually college buddies. We went to Wichita State together.
All right, there you go. That explains a lot.
Fraternity bros. So
we were what fraternity were you in?
Sigma Phi Epsilon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I taught Jake everything he knows.
He was, yeah.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
We've got some stories, but maybe
showed him all the bad things. Just corrupted him.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I
maybe
could see that.
For a different podcast.
That's fine. Yeah. We'll do that over drinks.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I've always looked up to him and in the real estate world, he's been a resource for me. He kills it every year. Seems like he's got a award every year that he gets for selling homes, and every interaction he's had with a client that I know of, they've had a great experience with him.
That's awesome.
He helped my wife and I sell the first home that we were in and buy the first one, so I know firsthand how great he is. So that's
great. That's a great testimony. I mean, you can't argue someone's testimony. That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Ricky, tell us a little bit about your story. Why did you choose this crazy industry of real estate?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
I know. I sure you do. Every day.
But first, I appreciate the things that Jake said, for sure. And but no, real estate is definitely a crazy industry. It's different every single year. Been doing this 18, going on 20 years now.
Wow. See, neither of you look like you're old enough to do that.
Right.
By the way.
So, but I always tell people that to this day, every deal is different. Every buyer is different. Every seller is different. Every house is different. And so I'm still learning every single day. So you just, rely on your experience and help people. And that's what I enjoy doing. Jake has been a great partner in the industry as well. So it's, something I really enjoy.
Yeah. Well, clearly you'd have to if you're still doing it 18 years.
For sure. So.
But that's something that I was taught by one of my brokers was every transaction has a different personality. And I believe that.
No, I agree.
And I've heard only a couple of people disagree with that and say, oh no, it's all, basically rinse and repeat. I completely disagree with that. I think if you're really digging in with your clients and their situation, which all of that's going to be very unique, like a fingerprint, then every transaction is going to be different because you're going to deal with a different, other side with a co-op agent, and it's a wild ride.
Yes, it is.
It is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. I always say, I have multiple different hats that I wear. Sometimes we play
all within the same day.
Oh yeah. So real estate agent, mortgage or marriage counselor, consultant, accountant, and I joke.
Shrink.
Yeah, shrink. Do it all. I joke that I'm not a doctor by any means at all, but we're always on call too, though.
Yes, you are.
If the right house pops on, we got to drop.
Yes, you are. Because when your phone rings, that usually means money.
Yeah. So
or a loss of money if you don't answer.
Yep. So that's a lot of people think real estate agents have it easy, but we have a lot of long hours.
You guys work very hard for that commission.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I'm not complaining. It's an industry that I love and enjoy helping people. It's just I tell people it's most people only buy one or two houses in a lifetime. So for us to be a part of that, it's a special privilege to help them through that process.
Very memorable.
Yeah,
for
sure.
I like that. Okay. So Jake, let's talk a little bit about your industry and your success, what a day in the life looks like. So what does that look like for you?
Starting off my day, actually I graduated in 2008 during the financial crisis. So great time to get into mortgage lending in that business when you're just
cut your teeth one way or the other. Yeah. Well, you don't know any different.
Exactly.
And if you can survive then everything else should be easy.
Yeah, exactly. So my first mortgage gig was out at Wells Fargo. And so I did that. We were just selling FHA refinances pretty much at that point. That's all we could do.
Okay.
And within a year was laid off after that position
and
let go. So I'm just frustrated. Like, what is going on? Like, I'm supposed to be, killing it here. And I wanted to, get into a career. And
you had high hopes.
Yeah. And so frustrating. So through that, I fell into banking and had just a bunch of different positions in the banking world. So I was on the deposit side, did car loans, then transitioned to a credit analyst for a commercial lender, then did a lot of various personal loans, and then worked in a trust company as a private banker. And then for the past 7 years, I've been a mortgage lender and just been able to focus on that. So
that's tremendous. I mean, you really are bringing in so much knowledge, because when your clients are coming, and I mean, you'll be able to navigate, how to increase their credit if they're not ready yet, or, how far to wait before they do that car loan or anything like that. That's really awesome knowledge to have.
Yeah. So was able to get into like a specialty and be an expert in a field finally, rather than just having a bunch of different things that I did. So focused in on that. But my day is just, I get into the office, catching up on emails, looking at my day, seeing if I got appointments that I gotta get set up, customer calls, checking in with realtors, looking at my pipeline, seeing if we got the deal that, if we got any conditions that we got to get through, over communicate to the borrower to make sure that they know what to expect. And then, putting fires out as they come.
That's right.
There's a few that can creep up
Always.
on you.
Always.
And
I'm sure you guys have some good stories. Don't worry, we're getting to this. So make sure you're thinking of the good ones, the good juicy ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, hopefully get new apps too.
Of course.
And new business to work on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Just like real estate, you only eat what you kill. So you're out there constantly hunting. You're constantly farming. Right. It's just a really beautiful combination of all of it. And it's not for everybody, but clearly it's your passion, because you're still here.
Exactly.
You're still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the craziest loan or closing table, anything story related to your industry that you can recall? And you don't have to say names, but we want to hear the juicy stuff.
Sure. No, I've got a few of them. I'm trying to think of one that really stands out. One,
I want you to be thinking too, sir.
Okay.
Was a lesson that I learned early on in my mortgage career to over communicate and make sure that you're constantly following up, because we were financing a house for a customer. He was buying a second home out at Table Rock. He was building it, actually. Builder was carrying the note. We were doing the perm. So had everything set up for him. We were good to go. Had this the closing scheduled, and I got with him, and the closing was going to be in Table Rock, because he commutes. He goes to the lake quite often, every other weekend. And so set it up through the title company to close there, and I texted him and emailed him, hey, this is where your closing's at. It's going to be at Security First Title out at Table Rock. So make sure that's good. If you have any questions, let me know. Didn't hear back from him. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, that's
silence
good.
is acceptance.
All right, he's fine. I've done my job.
Right.
Got him to the closing table.
Dangerous, yeah.
And then the day of the closing, the title agent actually calls me and says, hey, we had the closing agent sick today. She can't be in here today. Can he move it to this afternoon? And I was like, okay, all right, let me check with the borrower and see if he can do that. And so I get in touch with him, and he's like, oh, I thought we were coming to the branch to close to the bank.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, no, we got to close at the title company. It's a purchase, and we're going to sell this loan, so they're going to close it for you. Did you get my email and text? And he's like, no, I don't know, through the shuffle or whatever. So one of those deals. So, but my fault is I didn't.
Yeah, if you don't get a response, you've got
that response saying, hey, make sure this is where you're.
So did it eventually close? Did it work
did.
out?
So I got on the phone with the title agent out here locally in Wichita and said, hey, I got a closing in 2 hours. Can we get the packet to you and have it closed?
Yeah, and just do it here in town. Which is the beauty of having a title company like that.
And a title company. Shout out to Security First for getting that done. And so yeah, we were able to close. No delays, no hiccups.
There you go.
Went great.
Well,
so
you lucked out for sure, right?
Yes,
Because that could have been a very ugly ending with a very upset buyer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What is your 5-year goal with RCB Bank?
I'm very new to the bank. Last week was actually my first full week there.
Right.
So I'm just trying to hit the ground running there, getting settled in, trying to learn their process and their system, and meeting all the great people at RCB Bank. There are a lot of great people out there,
there are,
that
sure.
I've known outside of working there. And so my goal is to just grow the market out there. They haven't had a Kansas lender out at RCB for a while now.
Sure.
And so, we got over 50 branches between Oklahoma and Kansas. So pretty good footprint, a lot of large customer base.
Yeah.
We got a great team that can refer things like our commercial people, our trust, deposits, treasury.
So will you go and just build relationships with all those different branches and make sure they know who you are so they can,
just trying to get out and meet everybody. And
that's a lot of windshield time.
Exactly. Yeah. It is. So driving out to all the branches, hopefully here, I'll get that going here and introducing myself and being a resource for them pretty much. You want to make sure that you can help out their customers. And
that's right. Elevate the entire brand.
Exactly. And just grow the business there, Wichita's a great market. So.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Okay. What is an unusual habit or an absurd thing about you that we would find interesting or quirky?
Okay, so I don't think this is absurd, but my wife does. So.
See, and that's why. Of course, the person never thinks it's absurd. Yeah. Yes.
So I'm a huge sports nut.
Okay.
And so I know it drives her crazy because I'm not a good multitasker too. So if I'm supposed to be doing something,
hear anything.
Yes, and I've got my team on especially, I'm just really focused on that and watching the TV and trying to root on my team.
That's right, because your support will make or break.
Exactly. I've got the kids in the house too that you got to manage. And,
yes.
And so I can get distracted pretty easily when any kind of game is on, and anything competition wise. If I'm playing like wiffle ball, we've played softball together. I just get
you're zoned in. That's good. That's a good characteristic.
It's good. Yeah, it's good, and it can be a little bit.
What is your team? You said when my team is on
Broncos.
Okay.
So I'm a big. I was actually
Denver Broncos. I know.
I'm living with all these Kansas City fans. It's been bad for me the past 5 or 6 years when they're rolling the way they are right now. So.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't know the difference. I don't know it from Adam. I know who they are and I know where they're at.
Yep. So they haven't been very good the last few years. So it's been.
Well,
tough.
Maybe this season they might be good.
There's always
and your heart might be a little bit happier.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. All right, Ricky. Let's talk a little bit about your industry and your success. Were you always passionate about real estate? Did you always know you were going to be an agent? And if not, like when did that shift?
Yeah, well, my mom was a real estate agent. I actually grew up in a mom and pop family business. We had a used appliance store, kind of a Wichita landmark, Jot 'em Down Appliances. We were there for like 45 years on the corner of 13th and St. Francis. Yeah. So always had a sales background. And but my mom got her real estate license just to do a few deals on the side, and she sold maybe 1 or 2 houses a year. But that was kind of what put the bug in my ear to do it. And then out of college, I was always involved in the family business. But out of college, my very first job was, and it didn't last very long at all, but it was selling life insurance. And I'm a 22-year-old kid, and at the time, life insurance didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Of course not. Yes, you're invincible at 22.
Exactly, and they're like, "Go sell life insurance." I was like, "My friends care about $20 for a case of beer, not life insurance."
That's right.
At the time.
That's right.
And just the script, the simple question, like in selling life insurance, I was having to tell people you need life insurance. But in real estate, people are like, "Ricky, can you help me find this?" So instead of me telling them to do something, they were asking for my help.
Right.
So that kind of resonated with me because I like helping people. And like I said, that with the sales, then I'm not like stuck in a cubicle all day. But so that's kind of how I got into the real estate industry.
Okay.
And then here we are.
Here we are, 18 years later.
Right. That's
stuck.
right. Yeah.
That's good.
And but I really enjoy it. And like we said earlier, just helping people, and every deal's different. Every day's different. And our daycare provider, our kids are not on the same schedule every day. And so I think we have a 13-month-old. She does not get at naps and stuff like that. So our daycare provider doesn't love that. But I'm like, our schedule's different. Where like some kids go to bed at 7:30. Like we're not home until 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. So it's just tough. But
the life of entrepreneurs.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, the kids adjust.
Yep.
And they're learning some good lessons.
For sure.
So talk to me a little bit about your team.
Yeah, so our team, Lamb Team Real Estate, is just my wife and I.
Okay.
And I think we officially made the team probably 4 years ago. My wife, Danielle Lamb, she had a nonprofit background for 13 years. And then March 2020, she decided to join me in real estate.
Smart.
And it was smart, but we had a little scare for about 2 weeks. She left her full-time job March 2020. 2 weeks later, we had the shutdown.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh crap. What do we just do? You know, can I sell
But it
houses?
probably wouldn't have done well in her nonprofit world anyways.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we're like, what's going to happen as well?
Right.
Anyone did.
Right.
And
we were genuinely scared in March, I think. Even Wichita was. Because
Well,
that stuff doesn't usually happen to
for sure.
center of the United States.
And but it turned out that she was a great asset, and because obviously the market went crazy for the past few years, and so everything's worked out well. And now, as Jake said earlier, markets are up and down. You have good years and different years, and I never say bad years, but you have some years that are better than others and different. And
we're not expected to make more money every single year in business. It's going to fluctuate.
Right, for sure. And but yeah, you've asked Jake about goals.
Yeah.
What a 5-year plan.
Yeah. What is your 5-year plan with Lamb
so
Team?
I don't have one. Yeah.
Just keep do your best today and do the same thing tomorrow.
I have my broker in our office, she's like, you need to make some goals. And I was just like, I can't. I've just never made.
My goal is I'll be here tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. And I was just like, I've had good years, and I know you can't continue to go up every single year. Right. So I just like to keep everything in perspective.
Yeah,
and,
that's smart. It's very pragmatic too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to think it's all butterflies and bunnies, because it's not in this industry.
Right. So I don't have any professional goals really. I mean, we have ideas and strategies and stuff like that, which I guess is kind of goals, but but it's just.
But you're not like, I have to do this many transactions next year or this much value.
Differently. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. What is your craziest real estate story? It could be about a client, a co-op agent, a home.
Yeah. So there's been a few, I'm sure. One that, and it's not necessarily crazy, just a crazy ask on an inspection request. So this was a ranch style house. There was no basement, but there was a storm shelter that was put in. And, most time, you think a storm shelter is a good thing for a house with no basement.
Sure.
Supposedly, I mean, we're in the Midwest and tornadoes. And I just had some clients that moved here from California, and they're like, don't even show me anything without a basement.
Yeah, they're scared.
Or a storm shelter, and they're scared. And then I gave them I was like, I've been here 42 years, never seen a tornado in my life. I know they happen. And then I was like, if I went to California, I'd be scared of earthquakes, and they laughed at me because they wouldn't be scared of earthquakes. But,
right. Very relative.
Yeah. But anyhow, so this particular house, there was a storm shelter in the backyard, and the buyer just wanted it removed. And I was like, okay. So I'm trying to go through my list of contacts. I'm like, who do I call to remove a storm shelter? And
I wouldn't even know. Who would you call?
So I ended up getting just an excavator, dirt work company, and they got it removed, and the buyers bought the house, and we sold it. So, but that was just a unique. It's always something.
That is unusual.
It's always something.
Well, I'm glad that it didn't end that the tornado did hit their house after.
Right,
that would
for
be
sure.
Just,
I know
that's like an Alanis Morissette song.
Right,
That's
right.
Not be good. Okay.
So. Not good.
How would you describe our market today?
Different. Yeah. So, so it is, so I would say 6 months ago, or in the fall, when the interest rates went crazy there, when they jumped really high, really fast. So I'd say the market slowed a little bit there for sure.
Scared a lot of people.
It did. And just because people were just more, what was happening, what was going on, put some fear in the market. But this year, things are still moving along quite well. And a lot of it is based on just our low inventory. And a lot of people are trying to compare. It's completely different than the recession in 2008.
It is.
And that was based on many different factors. In this, there's some different things going on in the world right now too, but our low inventory is still creating the demand for properties.
Still a seller's market.
Yep, I agree. And certain price points, we still having multiple offers, and it's still, I feel bad for some buyers because it is kind of cutthroat out there. Higher end stuff, different price points, that stuff is starting to slow a little bit.
Okay.
And you're starting to see a few more days in the market, but things are still moving along. So buyers need houses, sellers need to sell.
Yep. Life changes continue to occur no matter
continue to happen.
Yep.
New jobs, whatever. Life changes. You said it right. And so I think the real estate market is good.
That's good.
And,
that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Do you feel that we're still seeing some of that normal like spring ramp up? And that when it starts to get April, May, June, and people are you starting to see that?
Yep. So I would say like traditional market, which our market hasn't been too traditional lately.
Not for a while.
But April, May, June are traditionally your 3 busiest months.
Yep.
And then I always say you see just a tiny little dip in July. I think, 4th
Vacation.
of July, vacations. And then you get a little fall push, August, September, October. Then it kind of slows down for the holidays. And then you get a little Happy New Year rush in January. So,
okay.
But that's kind of how I always describe the market.
Yeah.
But now we're right in the busy season, and like I said, real estate is good, and interest rates. I think historically, interest rates are still very good.
Yeah.
And
comparative to all of
right.
Yeah.
I got my
people used to refi down to 6%
for sure, absolutely, and so I think it just took a few months for buyer confidence to get used to the new interest rates.
It's our new normal.
Yep, but our new normal is still pretty good historically wise.
Yeah. Jake, what are the highest interest rates that you can remember in the last 15 years of?
Probably right now. Honestly,
you feel like this is still pretty
probably
high.
the highest. We were getting them in the low 7s here a little bit recently. So. They were so low for so long.
I know.
And they were low for
low.
way too long.
Yeah.
Like they held those rates, after.
And if someone didn't refi during that time, then they just must have been living under a rock, literally.
Yeah, literally everybody that I've worked with had a pretty low rate already and had done that. So perspectives, everything is what I tell people is, these are still great rates. A healthy rate environment, you're going to be 5 to 7%.
Yeah, and that's good for the entire for everything,
Exactly.
the entire economy.
Exactly. So,
Okay, that makes sense. So this question is for both of you, and you can think on it. But what purchase of $100 or less has just been so beneficial for you guys, or so impactful? I know it's a tough one.
I might go with I got a leaf blower. And
Okay. That sounds like you're working smarter, not harder. I like it.
Well, we just have so many trees. Like,
Yes.
when we bought the house, I'm like, oh, these pretty trees are so amazing. And then during the fall, it's like you're like 3 feet high of leaves across the entire yard. So
Good closing gift idea when you sell a house with lots of trees, Ricky.
Got a leaf blower / mulcher, and
Okay.
it fills up like 50 of the like construction
Trash bags.
50-gallon trash bags. That's how many
Good for
leaves I
you.
have out there. So that's really saved me a lot of time. Just
Yeah. More time to go watch sports in the fall.
Exactly. So
Got it.
it's been a lifesaver.
Smart guy. Okay. Ricky, what about you? Anything on mind? It could be like for kids,
Right. I was
or
going to say, I'm sure there's a plethora of baby toys that they were $100 or
lifesavers.
less, and they worked great for 2 weeks until they grow out of them.
They want something else. So.
Right. Well, that's still, we have a 13-month-old and an almost 6-year-old, and he plays with a toy for 5 minutes and it's awesome. And then it's on to the next thing. Or Dad, I'm so bored. I'm like, we just bought you a toy.
Yeah.
And
here's a box from Amazon.
Right.
So
Yeah,
build
exactly
something.
right. And there's so many baby gadgets and kid stuff that I can't. One thing doesn't come to mind.
Okay.
But I know. But some of them were lifesavers for a short period of time.
Pretty much any toy that you can get that will occupy them.
Yes.
Yeah.
A good pacifier, if you will.
Exactly. I'm like, this will help you sleep for 30 minutes. Sold. Yeah.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I don't care what the price is.
Right.
Just play with this toy.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and I'm sure there's some yard work stuff out there, like Jake said, that's been beneficial. But I don't know.
Okay. That's okay. I thought I already forgot it. Okay. So what failure, Ricky, or an apparent failure has actually set you up for a lot of success?
Yeah. So in the real estate industry, I had a transaction. I was working with some clients, 2 groups of friends, and this is going back probably.
That sounds dangerous.
Yes.
Yes.
About 15 years ago, 16 years ago. So I got kind of 2 stories, but there was a house that popped out on the market, and I was like, hey, let's all just go look at the house together.
Because they were looking to buy.
They were looking to buy. I had 2 groups of buyers, and they were both interested, and we were all friends, and they were both interested in the same house.
I think we all can see the writing on the wall.
Not a smart move at all. And, you know, they didn't tell me directly, but indirectly, you know, I put them in an uncomfortable situation. And so, you know, to this day, I always, you know, I strive to make every buyer, every customer comfortable. And I think I learned a lot just from that, you know, something that, you know, going through inspection requests or whatever, I'd tell my people, I was like, if it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal to me. And, you know, every buyer has a different comfort level. Every seller has a different comfort level. And you just, like I said, managing people. And I have a couple other little stories. I mean, I made a joke one time. I told a customer, and once again, we're going back a long time because I've learned since then, but just goes along with, you know, making people comfortable. But I told a buyer that the house was infested with mold. And then I was like, hey, just kidding. And
they couldn't get rid of that out of the
I was a young 23, 24-year-old agent at the time, you know, just, you know, and because I was friends with them. But, you know, buying a house is a serious purchase.
Very.
So you need to find that balance. You can be friends with someone, but you also got to stay professional.
Find other things to joke about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
make fun of the people's decorating, but not while you're there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. Now with Ring doorbells.
Oh, no.
Really
there's cameras everywhere.
Cameras everywhere. Cell phones everywhere.
I mean, you have to walk into a house. You have to approach a house the moment you're in the driveway, thinking that you are being recorded, video and audio, the entire time.
For sure. Yep. And you still have.
Which I think is good. It's forcing people to be accountable.
Yeah.
When others weren't being responsible enough to make sure people were being accountable.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. And, but I always love sellers are like, hey, the buyers are talking about our house on our front porch. And I was like, yep. You can hear every word they're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen to it. It's going to be, you can leverage that in negotiations.
For sure. And,
if you're given that gift, you might as well accept it.
Yeah, exactly right. And, but yeah, nope. So I guess I wasn't a failure, but just learning experience.
Sure. Yeah, something that you're not going to repeat again.
Yep,
that
exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Jake, I know what I was going to ask you. You've got a 13-month-old and a 6-year-old. How old are your kiddos? Because I know you've got a fairly new.
So I've got a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 20-month-old.
Okay.
So it's a full house.
You guys are busy.
So it's chaos, but it's fun. Like my oldest is getting into sports, and I coach him on a couple of them. So it's just great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's chaos, but again, it's
beautiful chaos.
There's going to be a time where they don't like us. They actually like us right now. So.
No, that's right. They're one day they're going to be 17 like mine, and really all they're going to want is money and Wi-Fi and food, and that's it.
Yeah, I was a 17-year-old, so I know how that goes.
Yeah.
So what do you? And this question will go to each of you. What are you guys doing outside of work? How are you spending the majority of your time? What are some fun hobbies? Some things you like to do, or some hidden gems in town?
So whenever I get a chance, if I'm able to, play golf or, we're just so wrapped up in doing family stuff. Like my wife's got a big family, so weekends are full of either ball games, birthday parties.
Yep.
We've got family events. So, outside of work, when I get home, it's always, we're with the family and so just really embracing that right now.
Yep.
Like I said, with my oldest in sports right now, I'm very involved in the coaching of that and help him out and try to be a good dad to him. So, that's just important for me. And then, if I'm ever able to, go play some basketball on a Wednesday night or do some pickup or, get out there and play some golf. I haven't played as much, kids, they just ruin that a little bit.
They do. I know.
Big time commitment. So.
Yes. Big lifestyle change for sure.
Yeah.
Ricky, what do you and Danielle like to do outside of your time that you're working?
Yeah, we're pretty boring. I mean, a lot of stuff, just what Jake said.
Yeah.
We spend time with our kids and our oldest is doing t-ball and he did soccer and basketball and I help coach and all that stuff as well.
Very busy.
And so we like to hang out with friends, but it's nice. I mean, our friends have kids as well.
Yeah.
So it's always like kid-friendly activities and then we're working always on call.
That's right. And that takes a very special couple to be working and married, happily still together.
Yeah, people ask me that all the time.
It's true. It's true. And I have a deep passion and respect for couples that work together as well. My parents did that. My grandparents did that. I attempted it once. It didn't work out very well.
Right.
But it takes a lot, and it takes a very strong, solid relationship to be able to do that. So I definitely am feeling like a February power couple story coming next year. That's what I'm manifesting. Yes.
So I made a joke, or not a joke, but I told to go on with what you said. So Danielle and I, we do work together, and it's great, and we love it. But I said when she worked her nonprofit job, I used to love like just meeting up with her for lunch.
Yes,
and
because you were missing her, you hadn't seen her all day.
It was just different, So you're meeting up with her for lunch, and she's like, "What? You don't like having lunch with me now anymore?" And I'm like, "It was just different." But other than that, everything's fine though. We get along good, and like I said earlier, she's been a great asset, and in real estate and the fast paced market it is, I can't be two places at one time.
Right.
And so
you guys are an extension of one another, which is really convenient.
For sure.
Yeah.
And she can, do something that I can, or show a house that if I'm busy, and vice versa. So it definitely works for us. And I know it's a challenge for others, but people ask me that all the time. How do I like working with my wife? And it's great. So we enjoy it.
You hold different level of respect and love for one another, I think, when you're working together. Probably some frustrations too, but that's okay. We won't get there. So. Okay. So we're going to wrap up here with a speed round of questions. And these go to each of you. And if you need to justify your answer, that's okay. And I know that probably doesn't make sense as I say that now, but it will as we get through these questions. All right. So would you rather be covered in fur or scales?
Fur.
Okay.
Scales? Would it be like fish scales?
Yeah, like a snake, a lizard, or whatever.
Like
cold-blooded, hot-blooded. Okay. See, this is why we justify. Because someone might give an answer and we're like, that's a stupid answer. Explain yourself. And then, there you go.
Fur might get hot in the summer is all I'm thinking.
I think that
we'll shave you down like a poodle, but like with,
Right.
Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year out of your life?
Oh, that's a tough one. Maybe, as weird as it sounds, maybe be in jail for a year because it would force me to eat healthy.
That's what I'm thinking. I would be doing master
working
push-ups.
Out a lot.
Yes.
But it would depend on what stage of life, because then if you're with your kids, that would be tough. So it depends.
I know it's tough.
I would agree with Jake on that answer.
Use the best of your time.
Be more disciplined.
Well, then you can use it as a learning experience.
That's right. Get like a degree or something. I don't know.
And you pick up any information or knowledge you can, even though you're stuck in jail. But if you lost a life, then you have no opportunity to do anything.
Yeah.
That's right.
Plus, I don't read a lot, so it'd force me to read.
It would.
What's a book?
You'd be so bored. You'd be like, any book. I don't care. Any book.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather spend the rest of your life on a sailboat or an RV as your home?
Probably an RV.
Okay.
I don't know, because you just have more places you could go to. On a sailboat, you're just kind of out there. And
there's a lot of
my wife would
docks out
probably
there.
prefer the sailboat.
Yeah.
The sailboat.
Yeah, I'm a sailboat all the way.
I'm not much of either.
Okay, that's okay.
But if I had to choose, I would say RV.
Okay.
Like I said, my skin is not prone to the sun, so being stuck in a sailboat all the time probably wouldn't bode well for me.
Yeah, you'd be just one big freckle. Is that
right? Yeah, exactly. And so an RV, at least we can explore and do some stuff, and I wouldn't be burnt to a crisp. Yeah. So
that's right.
That's good.
Okay, I think you would adjust. I don't think you'd be a lobster all the time. Would you rather be able to go back in time or tell the future?
Probably tell the future.
Okay,
just all the knowledge you would get. I guess,
with the interest rates when they're going to drop it.
You can predict everything. I mean, it'd be kind of boring too, because then you know the outcome. So
that's
there's
true.
that. But
Don't live in the past. Let's go to the future.
Yeah, that's why the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror.
That's right.
I would agree with that. Would you rather live in a new build or 100-year-old home?
Probably a new build.
Yep.
Just because everything's new, you wouldn't have to replace anything.
Spend your weekends doing all the honeydews.
Exactly.
Yes.
So probably for me.
Ricky?
I have to watch what I say, but no.
Danielle, don't hold them accountable.
So I would say new build, just low maintenance. Low maintenance is kind of what I always stress.
Right.
Character can sometimes be overrated in a house, but character and charm.
If you've got a leaky basement, you're not appreciating that character at the moment.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
and you can build character.
You can build character. That's right. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Yes. Okay. There you go.
So this house doesn't have a character, but you can build it.
It's your home.
Yeah. The right woodworker. You can do it.
No, absolutely. I agree.
This will rival any of the college homes.
That's right.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Even though I have a cat.
Okay.
Which is weird. So
that's rude. The cat's going to hear this now.
I adopted the cat. We lost our dog last summer, and
I'm sorry.
He was old. He had a good life. He was 17 years old. So
you need a new dog?
So we need a new dog. But
I have a Doberman for you. Would you want an extra Doberman?
I told my wife once we once we potty train our youngest, then we can maybe get a dog. So
okay, you don't need to be potty trained
two individuals at the same time.
Yeah,
so
cleaning up two different kinds of pee.
Yeah, definitely prefer dogs. So.
Yep, dogs all the way.
Dogs, okay.
I'll tell a quick funny story.
Yes, let's hear it.
So we have, as you know, we have a toddler.
Yes.
And she's crawling everywhere. And our dog bowls we have a 7-pound Yorkie dog, but so we keep the dog in the water, the food on the floor, but she's crawling everywhere, so we put it up.
Yep.
And then 3 a.m, the dog is just going crazy.
Right.
And I'm saying, what is going on? What's your deal? I try to let you out. Then his food and water have been up so our daughter couldn't crawl and get it. So he's been hungry for 2 days because the food and water are up. So bad dog parents. That's for a couple days.
That's right. Well, you can't be a perfect parent to everyone in the house. So.
That's right.
That's right.
The kids, dogs all the way. Though. Dog food that they want it.
I know it.
Every
baby
that we've had,
they just get their hands in the bowl. And make a mess.
How can that be good?
Yeah,
it smells terrible.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, I don't know why you would do that, but.
All right. Well, hopefully it's quality dog food, y'all.
I guess that's why they're babies. They just don't know any better. So you're just like, whatever.
That's funny. Okay. Well, guys, thank you. It was a pleasure just to visit with you and get to know a little bit more about you and who you are outside of your real estate career and outside of your mortgage career. So thank you for your time. I know both of you are busy. You've got a lot of things on your plate. So that is about it, you guys. So as always, Wichita Real Producers is extremely thrilled that you guys are watching and listening, tuning in either on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So make sure that you subscribe and we'll drop a new podcast every single week. We'll see you next time, guys.